Welcome back to Cam's Classics. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. As I said many videos ago, we'd show you how we were going to get the car ready. We're going to go to a car show, South Jordan Summerfest. If you want to see us there, it's 1 to 5 this Saturday, June, I believe it's the 3rd. Me, Dad, and Slothy will all be there. Come by, say hi if you're in the area. So what we're going to do first, we got to wash it, then we're going to wax it, polish up the wheels a little bit. We do a big major cleanup on it once a year at the beginning of the year. We might do it again at the depending on how it's looking, but it stays fairly clean inside where we store it. So I'm going to go over real quick what we use. So as you can see down here, we have a bucket. It is from Chemical Guys. The reason we use that is it comes with this plastic piece. It allows dirt and debris to flow down through. This is perforated. It allows the dirt and debris to fall down through to the bottom of the bucket so that when you put your mitt back down in, it's not continuing to get dirt on it, which is going to scratch your paint. So we're going to be using that. I'll go ahead and throw this in there, let it sink to the bottom, and then once we get it washed, there's two ways really to do it. One is via air. There's a company called Metrovac that makes a kind of an air blower compressor vacuum type thing. They work really well. They're kind of expensive though. So what we have, this is from Meguiar's, and it's a drying towel. Works very well. Basically what you do is you just wipe it off as you dry it, and it's very absorbent. I'll show you that once we get going. Once it gets so full of water, you just have to wring it out and it just continues working. Those aren't very expensive. They're $5 to $7. They have a couple sizes. We're going to use that. And we just use tap water. For our soap, we are using the Chemical Guys car wash soap. It's the purple one. I believe it's great. It has a good smell to it. But we are going to get going. So the first thing we want to do is we want to rinse off the car. Get any loose debris and impediments off of it. So we'll go ahead and do that. As you can see, it wasn't real dirty, but with the vinyl top, they're a little bit tricky. They will kink in the hose here. With the vinyl top, they require a little bit of UV protection, especially where we have it sitting outside in the car shows, to keep it looking like this. This top is roughly 13 years old now, and it still looks like the day we put it on there. So if you take care of it, it'll stay good. So what I'll have to do, usually Dad's running the camera today. Usually we kind of work together, and one will be rinsing it off. Since he's running the camera, I'll have to do it in sections. You always want to start from the top and work to the bottom. And you'll also notice, you may say, he's kind of wearing weird clothes today. There's a reason behind that. So I'm not wearing a belt. These are drawstring shorts. That way, if I happen to lean against the car and move just a little bit, I'm not going to scratch my paint. So I'm wearing clothes that there's no sharp edges, no belts, no rivets. That way I'm not going to scratch my paint. Notice as I did this side right here, I skipped the wheel. I always do my wheels last. That way I can get it clean. I'm using the same, you can use a different one. I use the same one occasionally. But that way you can keep any road dirt and grime off of your car paint. That is the nice thing about this car, is it's fairly small, so it's fairly quick to wash it. The full process takes a couple of hours. So washing it, waxing it, cleaning the wheels, cleaning the interior. I'm kind of doing it in thirds. The other thing you may have seen that I re-rinsed the other side. The reason is because we kind of have a little bit of hard water. So since I'm not using something that's like softening the water or removing any impurities out of the water, I got to keep it wet until I'm ready to start drying it. That way it doesn't have spots and runs and all sorts of stuff in the paint when I go to wax it. So I am going to use the green side on the wheels. I've been using this gray side on the car. So we can use the same one because we're using different sides. We'll hurry and grab the wheels on this other side. They'll be washed. The big thing I found with these wheels is you have to really get down there, spray out the lug nut holes very well. Otherwise, when you start to drive it, it's going to come out. Okay. So that's got us all washed. We're ready to dry it. Again, we're going to use this towel from McGuire's. You'll see I'm getting the side that's in the sun. Again, working top to bottom, but I'm getting the side in the sun faster than the other side because it'll last a little longer without having the sun directly on it. I'm especially getting the chrome because if that gets water spots on it, it's difficult to get it off. Just to show you. There's a little water in there. Not as much as if you're doing a big vehicle, because this is a smaller one. We're not getting as much. But last, we'll wipe off the wheels. So just another tip, if you have a rag, you can see we got a little dirt in it, right here. So these can be washed, but I will give you a little tip. If you're washing any towel that you expect to absorb anything, do not use fabric softener. In fact, the best way to do these is wash them and then let them air dry. That way they stay super absorbent. The second you put any sort of fabric softener on these, the absorbency goes out the window. They just don't even work anymore, really. So wash them, but don't just let them air dry. Don't put them in a dryer with a bounce sheet. Just wash them and dry them. We're gonna pull this in the shed, let it kind of finish trip dry. There's a few spots on the car, the tachometer, the spoiler on the back, they get a little water under them, so we'll let it sit for a little bit and we'll wax it, but we'll go pull it in the shed so it can stay nice and cool out of the sun. So we'll be back to you in a minute. Hey, welcome back. So we've let it dry, sit in here for a little bit. It is cool to the touch, so we'll be ready to wax it. But first, as I said, we start from the top and work down. I really like Meguiar's products. We're not sponsored by them or anything, but we really do like the Meguiar's products. So when I had the top put on, the upholstery guy told me certain products not to put on there. I'm not going to name the brands. Your upholstery guy will tell you the same thing. But he recommended Meguiar's or Mother's because some of the other products have a additive in them, kind of a, you know, a byproduct of like gasoline type stuff. And what happens is when these vinyl tops, especially vinyl tops, convertible tops, sit in the sun, that product causes them to crack. So he recommends this Meguiar's. So it's a cleaner, conditioner, and protectant. It's got a UV protectant built in. So I'm going to go ahead and do the top first. And the way I'm going to do that, make sure we're good to go here. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to put it on the rag. I have done it spray directly on the top, but you kind of get splotches. So I'm going to put it, fold the rag into quarters, put plenty on there. Just kind of tap the rag together to build it into the rag, and then you just go ahead and wipe it on. And add more as you need it. But what this will do is it adds a UV protection, and As you can see, kind of where I've wiped it, where I haven't, it creates a little bit of a shine to it. So back here it's kind of dull, up here it's shiny. So the other reason I like to spray it onto the rag instead of directly on it is if you're spraying it, you can be very careful, but if you get it on the glass, it's kind of hard to get off the glass. So I prefer not to get it on there just to begin with, just because it's easier. It does come off of the chrome fairly well, so I don't worry too much about that. But the glass, it is hard to get off. The other side. So vinyl tops are something you don't see very common nowadays, even on the older cars when they get restored, and there's a reason for that, which is kind of not valid anymore, but kind of is. So back in the days when these cars were new and they were putting tops on, vinyl tops on them, they didn't really protect the top very well. It was kind of just primer if they knew it was vinyl top, so it didn't really have a lot of paint. So this car actually did not come with the vinyl top. When I purchased it, it just had, the roof was painted orange just like this. Me and Dad talked about it a little bit and decided, you know, it was just a little too much orange. And so we went ahead and reached out to an upholstery company that's local to us, and they put the top on it. They did the seats in it as well. But okay, so we're just kind of looking for, you know, kind of all just to be shiny. So I believe we're good. Like I said, we're working from the top down. I will go back after and do the glass, just because it's not a big deal to do that afterwards. So again, I like Meguiar's product. This is their Gold Class Carnauba Plus. It's a paste wax. I prefer the paste waxes over the liquids. They just seem to me to last a little bit longer, and I think they're a little easier to apply. They don't get everywhere as much as the liquid waxes do. It's a little easier to control these because they're not runny. So I prefer to use the paste wax. And we'll just do half this hood and show you, because this is just a long process, and it's just doing the same thing all over the whole body of the car. Kind of want to work it in a swirl pattern. As much as possible. I mean, there's places like going around these emblems in the hood where I kind of have to do more of a straight shot. But anywhere you can do kind of the swirl pattern, that's gives you the best coverage, best look. Again, we'll be to the South Jordan Summerfest Car Show this Saturday. I believe it's June 3rd. If you want to come by, say hi if you're in the area. Great. Love to see you. But just about finished on this section of hood. I'm just looking for a good uniform coat. Spot there. So this car does have a hood tack. If you've never seen that, it was a Pontiac option. And basically what it was, you've probably heard about them now, they're called heads-up displays on the modern cars. So what that's for is so you can keep your eyes out looking outward while you're driving. It's kind of more of a, for these was drag racing. So drag racing, your shift points are more of RPM. So you want to, stay in the higher RPMs because you're going to go faster. So the purpose of the hood tack was so you could keep your eyes out there, because if you keep looking down to see your speed, tachometer in the dash, especially drag racing, it can cause you to move just a little bit, and if you get out of the sweet section of the track, it's going to throw you off. So this was a way to be able to see your RPMs while you're racing down the drag strip. So what you can see, it's not quite there, but you can see it's just a little hazy. So you can see on that side shiny, a little hazy over here. We're going to give it just a second longer to dry. And we're going to do two process. So we're going to wipe it down with one rag first, and you want to keep your rags separate. So anytime I've done this, it looks better. You get, you get to a lot of shows and you'll see where there's still a little wax on the cars that didn't get wiped off. I found this is the best way to do that, because what happens is you get it all wiped off, you think you have it all, then you get to the show, and as it's dried a little bit, now you've got spots here and there. So what I like to do, it looks like, to me, like it's about ready. I'm going to keep my other rag separate. You just start, polishing off the wax you laid down. Yes, I know we do need to get a new wiper blade. That's probably going to happen tomorrow. But you just wipe it down. What you have is your initial wipe down. You're going to fill your rag with wax. And so I like to have the second rag. So I'm wiping this down. You can kind of already see, I haven't been wiping it that much, but you can already see I'm kind of getting a little bit of streaks. Not bad, but a little bit. Where wax is, kind of just building up a little bit. So, and kind of, I don't know if you can really see it in the camera, but right here, there's still, a little buildup. So what I like to do is wipe it all down with one rag that's kind of my initial polish rag. A lot of people use like the old cloth diapers. These are Kirkland rags from Costco. They work excellent. They're a microfiber rag. We buy them by the case, or they come in a big bag. We just buy that and use them and buy more when we need them. And then I like to come through, and this is my second rag, and I re-wipe it down with the second rag. And it finishes taking off any residual waxes. And there's some spots here and there that I can see that they may not show up on camera, but this gets the remainder of the wax off there. But that's pretty well it. So you can kind of see a little bit of difference. You can see a little more shiny here, a little less shiny on here for waxing. So we're going to go ahead and finish that. Glass, I'll just show you what we use. Again, from Costco, we like to use this spray glass cleaner. So that's about the only other thing we're going to do to this. Possibly vacuum the inside, but that's, you know how to vacuum. And I like this glass cleaner. It doesn't leave any streaks. So again, South Jordan this weekend. See you there. Like, share, and subscribe.